First on BBC Two, the debut of a new comedy with American comedian Kelly Monteith.
Now, originally, that scene had a lot more violence when the cop couldn't get the key from the attendant. But as I told the BBC, you'll never see sex and violence on my show. Oh, you might see it in my home, but you'll never see it on my show. Which brings me right to who I am and why I'm here. To begin with, I'm Kelly Monteith. I want to clear that up right away because I'm sure the majority of the British public is going, Kelly who? Kelly Monteith? Who's she? And secondly, I was worried about that, you see, when the BBC invited me to do this show, because I thought, well, firstly, nobody will know who I am. Secondly, how would they react to an American comedian?
Well, personally, talking for myself, so to speak, like, I don't rate the Yanks as comics. I mean to say, they don't know nothing about the British sense of humour. Jolly something else they don't know neither. That's the fare from London Airport.
Hi, I'm Kelly Monteith, and welcome to our second series of Kelly Monteith's BBC Memories. The memories alluding to the show that I had on the BBC between the years, this goes back a ways, 1979 to 1984. Now, the cab driver you see here, this was the very first shot we did for the show. It was done outside of Ealing Studios, which was exciting for me because I was a big fan of the Ealing comedy, so I was a real thrill to do this. And that's the actor named Michael Stainton. And then the monologues that you saw at the beginning, we had a cold opening with the cop car, and then followed by me coming on, introducing myself to the British public. Because as far as I know, I was at least the first, if not the only American comedian to have his own show on the BBC. And there was a British actress who played my wife, Gabrielle Drake, great actress, terrific woman, a joy to be around. And one of the things, the theme of the first show, the first couple of shows actually, was women's independence, because the women's movement was kind of gaining steam in those days, in between, starting in the late 60s, although women's suffrage, I mean, women have been fighting for equal rights for many, many years. So that was changing, and we illustrated that by doing a little film from probably the 30s, around the time when Jimmy Cagney, and if you remember the famous scene in Public Enemy when he shoved a grapefruit in Mae Bush's face. And if he did that today, the man would have been tarred and feathered by the Me Too movement. So in this scene, you'll see Gabrielle Drake, and boy, what a trooper she was to go through all this. But you'll see what I mean. Why don't we roll the film?
You always get the other kind. Just when you think that he is your pal, you look for him and find him fooling around some other.
Kelly, please let me go with you.
Let me alone, will you?
I don't want to leave you alone, you great big wonderful lug. I want to share your ambitions, your dreams, your joys, your sorrows.
Why don't you share my laundry? You put too much starch in my shirt.
I'm sorry, Kelly. I'll fix it for you.
Besides, I gotta meet the big boss for lunch.
How come I don't never get to meet the big boss?
Because he's like me. Thinks a dame's only good for one thing. And he don't like to see no laundry being done at the table. What's the matter? Can't get a man get a cup of coffee around here?
I'm sorry, Kelly. Here.
About time. What are you trying to do? Poison me?
Sorry, Kelly. I guess I must have been thinking about your laundry when I fixed it. Say, is this grounds for divorce?
There ain't grounds for coffee.
Here, why don't you have some soup?
Soup? I hate soup!
Oh, Kelly! I only want to make you happy!
Don't cook no more soup, you dumb broad.
Oh, Kelly, I love you so much! Did you see that, you big galoot? You're my man and I'm your woman. I just want to make you happy and I just want to have your babies.
Don't talk dirty. Besides, we ain't got time. I'm late for lunch.
Oh, Kelly, please let me go with you.
Let me alone, will you?
Please let me go with you.
You ain't going, I tell
I
you.
want to come with you.
Let me alone, you.
Sorry, Gabrielle. You believe what we did to her? Now, this next scene, also from the very first year, probably one of the first or second show, I'm not sure which, is a scene about in a restaurant. I always felt insecure about going into a restaurant and dealing with maitre d's. There was always an intimidation factor there that I never seemed to be able to get over. And they probably felt that lack of confidence from me and would treat me accordingly. And this gentleman, maitre d', is played by Victor Spinetti, who did a lot of our shows, basically. And you probably know him from the Hard Day's Night. He played the director, the TV director for the Beatles. But he did a great job on this, and I think you'll enjoy it. That me dealing with the maitre d'.
Hello? Le ripoff? You want a reservation? Have you been here before? No? Have you references? A letter from David Frost? You don't? Au revoir.
Excuse me, I have a reservation. Reservation? Reservation?
Oui, monsieur.
My name is Monteith.
Mon crêpe.
No. Monteith.
Mongoose, no mongoose.
No, Monteith. My name is Monteith.
Men's room, no
My name
reservation
isn't
for men.
men's room.
What is it called?
Excuse me, monsieur. Mr. Dennis Ely wishes to write a check.
Oh, my God.
Damn. I never know if I should tip these guys or what, you know? And if so, how much? Now, if the guy had some kind of uniform on, I might have an idea, but what do you tip a guy wearing tails? Well, a $5's on top, so $5 it is.
Mon Dieu, les politiciens, c'est incroyable, incroyable.
Excuse me, I have a reservation. My name is Monteith. Monteith?
We have no reservation for Monsieur Moncrap.
Now look at that face. That's intimidating, don't you figure? The second part of the scene has to do with tipping, which I've always been insecure about because I never know if I'm tipping enough. Oddly enough, tipping isn't part of the DNA of the Brits or the people on the continent as it is in the United States. We're just tip happy. We tip everybody. But I never know if what I tip is enough. And I always have to go through those calculations in my head when I'm tipping. And sometimes I'll leave a restaurant thinking, it'll torture me. Did I tip enough? Did I leave enough? Should I have tipped more? And this next part of the scene is exactly that. It's taken that to the nth degree when I'm home and I get a visit from the maitre d' and the waiter.
Coming.
Monsieur Menopause, this is an outrage.
Monteith.
You have insulted me and my staff.
What are you talking about?
Is this the man, Claude?
Oui, monsieur.
Is this your signature?
Yeah?
Is this your tip?
Yeah.
Was the service not good?
No, it was,
Was the food bad?
Not really. It was...
Then why'd you humiliate me and my staff?
What do you mean humiliate you?
The tip, monsieur, the tip. You call this a tip? I spit on your tip.
You also spit on my shoe.
What's wrong with that tip?
What's wrong? This man has trained in some of the finest and most overpriced restaurants in the world. By looking at you in a certain way, he can make you declare the worst piece of meat the best meal you ever had. Look at that face. The cold eyes. The curl of the lip. The sneer. That is talent, monsieur. Skill that has taken years to perfect. And what do? Huh? You slap him in the face with your chintz.
Chintzy.
What are you talking about? First you ignored me when I walk in.
It's part of my business, monsieur.
Then you give me a lousy table.
In keeping with your stature, monsieur.
Then you had the unmitigated gall to serve me supposedly your oldest bottle of wine.
It was our oldest. 1976.
Oh, 1976. That's old?
BC, monsieur.
Peace? You mean before...
Correct. Before Callahan.
Well, perhaps I was a little bit,
Chintzy.
Monsieur Monetel, you are an ingrate. Call yourself a customer. You suck lemons. Change that 2 into an 8.
Hey, come on.
The years of training, monsieur. The sneer.
All right, here, it's done.
Merci, monsieur. Come, Claude, we go. On connaît même pas, connaît? Oui. Qui me garde dans champ de livre fafin que ni me connaît pas. Et quoi, santé chez les copains? Oui. I wish you an eternity of heartburn, monsieur. And may all your truffles be trifles. Au revoir, Monsieur Baptiste.
Monteith! Kelly Monteith.
Well, there's the credits. I haven't seen those names in, 50 years? But that was our first show. And I remember going to the bar afterwards, along with the crew and the cast and the producers and directors. And the BBC, there was actually a bar in the BBC in those days. And it was always packed. And we went up there, and I was so relieved that your show worked. And nothing really changed for me after that. It's like I did my first Tonight Show. I expected to be stopped on the street, but nothing. The phone never rang. Nothing happened. It's the accumulation of shows when people start to recognize you. And that happened at the BBC probably about the third year. I started getting recognized by cab drivers and people on the street. But that was our very first show, and we're going to continue with the first year, showing some things from that very first year, because it's interesting to look back. It's like watching my kid, basically. So stick around. Every Friday for the next 9 weeks, we'll be showing some more clips from the Kelly Monteith show. Well, actually, just Kelly Monteith. There was no the and no show afterwards. It was just Kelly Monteith. No ego problems there, but that was the name of the show. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you next Friday. Good night.